YouTube one when it comes live. And the one should be Twitch should be live. Alright. Let me see. Twitch. Let me go check
it. It looks like you are live on Twitch.
Twitch. Is YouTube live? You know? I'll go check mine.
I'm checking it right now. Yeah.
Cool.
We're live on both.
We're live. I'll try to keep.
We are live, and I have mine split screened, so I can see both streams at once and can see the chats.
Okay, hold on. I need to go to my YouTube quickly because it is saying that I am streaming about episode 1. Edit.
Oh, that is true.
Alright, let's see. There's an update. And alright. Okay, I should
Hello.
Is there people?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. I haven't seen anything. I'm so sorry I did not put this up, get this set up.
Wait, where am I hearing audio go?
We'll put this as a
oh, it's YouTube. There we go.
Give me a second. Just say that. Okay. Where is it? That's not it. That's a Starian.
Hmm?
There we go. Okay, change the thumbnail so it looks better now. Okay. Close. Hopefully that's better. And hopefully that updated.
Yeah, I did update.
Cool. Wait, oh my god, I have the same thumbnail. Alright. Alright. No, we just finished watching episode 4. Let's get this. Okay. Alright. So we just finished episode 4. Very difficult episode to watch because it is the death of my favorite dragon. So it was very hard episode to watch. I'm trying to think of like how do we normally do this format? Do we normally back? Nope. No, not that. What were our thoughts on this episode, I guess, overall?
Do we want to start with our overall rating of it? Maybe?
That's what I was wondering. Do we want to start with the overall rating? Or
because I know there have been times where we started with the rating and times where we've ended with the ratings.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, wait, should we start with the rating or should we end with the rating?
Maybe we should start with it.
Alright, this is my favorite episode of the season so far.
I definitely agree.
It's my favorite. I think it was very front and boring. But I tend to find Harrenhal stuff kind of not as intriguing personally. But oh my gosh. There's little nitpicks that I could have, which I made some comments during when we were watching it together. But overall, it's definitely my favorite episode.
I agree. I definitely think it was my favorite episode this season.
Yeah, it's probably like the episode I was least looking forward to seeing. And also the most looking forward to seeing because I really wanted to see how they did the official Dance of the Dragons and see the dragon battle. But also I knew what happened in it. And I just don't want my baby to die. It's my favorite dragon. Melee's is my favorite dragon.
Harrenhal, where Daemon goes through therapy and drinks weird things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was like when we were watching that, I felt it was, and I even said this, why did he drink that when he refused to eat peas? Because he thought they were poisoned. So he's just gonna drink this suspicious thing that this girl he doesn't know and think it's okay?
Literally, this girl who admitted
now,
that she kind of took on the role of Maester after the last Maester fled. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna drink this thing that she is offering me.
Now I am demanding for them to have Paddy Considine in future episodes because I am so mad that he was not in this episode. I'm like, why did they? Why, like, I get the symbolism of having Rhaenyra on the throne and everything, but when we were watching the after, like the explanation of the episode where they comment on it, they mentioned that Daemon was facing all of his, like, what was it? Flaws or things he created, which is why they showed Aemond, they showed Rhaenyra, they showed his, oh my gosh, what is her name? His first wife. No, second wife. Well, wait, should they technically show his first wife then? The one that he, banged in with, a rock.
The horse girl.
Oh my god, I'm forgetting her name right now.
I'm Googling this.
It starts with an R. It has R's in it.
Yeah, it does.
I just gotta think of her name though. I'm really hoping they pull that out as it goes on.
Rhea Royce.
So if they're doing that, then they really should show him with Rhea Royce too, I think. But we'll see what they do. I personally can't wait for him to leave Harrenhal, but I know a lot of people love Harrenhal. They love all the ghost type stuff going on and all the hallucinations. So I'm glad that those people get to enjoy that part of it. It's not my favorite, but my guess is that they wouldn't come back for it. I don't know why he wouldn't want to come back for it. Because, like, they could easily... Harrenhal is just a series of dream sequences. Yep.
It really is. And then you get a scene that you think is another dream sequence, and it turns out that's the only bit of reality you've had the entire time.
Okay, so we have...
nothing that happens in Harrenhal.
Yep, we have Daemon seeing all the dreams, drinking weird stuff, having more hallucinations, and then we also see the leader of the house, Tully, or not like the leader, but like the nephew, I think, of the leader. Basically, he is grandson. He is going to inherit it. That interaction actually was really adorable. Hold on. Like, and then the fact that Daemon asked him to just smother his grandfather with a pillow was very Daemon, and it was very funny to me. This whole scene was really good.
No, I love my grandfather. He raised me. He was like a dad to me. I'm not gonna murder him.
So instead of using House Tully, which rules over the Riverlands, he decided he's going to go with the Blackwoods to get them on the army. The Brackens are the ones that kneel to King Aegon, but they sided with the Greens, and they're the ones that are with Aegon II. So basically, Daemon's having a fever dream in Harrenhal. We see some more interactions with Harrenhal. and Corlys and Rhaenys, and it's very heavily hinted that yes, he is a bastard of Corlys, and that Rhaenys knows it. So, yeah, there's that. Do you have any notes on that? Or anything you would like to say with that?
No, I mostly agree with
Okay, so we have that. And then we have Alicent drinking moon tea, which was something that a lot of people predicted, so it was kind of quite predictable. Also, it makes sense because you get pregnant very easily in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, also she had like the she had like her little like makeshift heating pad
She
with the
did.
like hot stones from the fire.
She did. Oh, yeah. And like, yeah, so alright, we see her do that, drink the moon tea, and then we see the council with Rhaenyra's council, but Rhaenyra is still not back from her very silly decision from last episode to go to King's Landing to talk to Alicent. We can see
Jace
that
called her out on this decision.
Jace did call her out. He's
did.
MVP. I like Alan. He seems like a good boy. He is good. We see that Jace is actually taking on a lot of Daemon traits here, which is very interesting and very fun to watch. Here, like, you know, this is the same boy who tried to give the message of getting House Stark and House Aaron, and it was like fighting through tears, and now he's like very much like a man. He very much inherited Daemon in this scene. Hold on, I can find it. He very much has like Daemon's demeanor going on, and just a little bit more of an
like,
attitude.
The way he's standing too is like very much like channeling Daemon.
He's like, channeling Daemon. He's like, I'm watching
back.
him.
Like, it's very channeling Daemon.
He's like, I have to watch the Targaryens to figure out how to be a Targaryen, so I'm just gonna copy Daemon.
Which, I mean, we can't pretend that's not what Aemond does too.
Yeah, she is doing the greatest hits of young Rhaenyra shenanigans. She's basically doing everything that she judged Rhaenyra doing when she was young, but older.
Yeah, she's like realizing the fact that she never got to be a child when she was a child, and she was like, well, there's no time like the present as we're going into a war.
And then we go into showing the aftermath of the sack of Duskendale. So between the last battle, which I'm just blanking on what that was, and Rook's Rest, there's a lot of mini battles on the way to Rook's Rest that are just not shown. They're said, but they're not shown. And this was my first like thing, and I'm rewatching the original Game of Thrones, and the amount of cutting of fights that they have is kind of unreal. At least show some of it, I feel like, because we actually only even saw one beheading, and I don't think that it's I don't think it's going to translate very well to the audience how significant it is.
Yeah, all the fights we see too tend to be the dragon battles, which is great. And I get that most of the budget is going into that.
It is going into dragons.
At the same time, it's also like the impact of the up close and personal like battle choreography.
Yeah, which
really shows how personally it hits, because you can see the army walking in, and then you can see the panning over the entire burnt to a crisp army. Yeah, and like, it just doesn't hit the same as if
I mean, we were
seeing them like fighting face to face.
We were just watching. It's like you kind of think of like the imagery of just sword on sword clashing and how impactful that is with cinematography and just emotionally, like thinking of like the Battle of the Bastards and things like that. Like the dragon battles are super cool, and that's why we're here. but also I would like to see these little battles because so many little battles have now been cut. And yes, they're little, but seeing some more lead up or something beyond just everybody's dead would be very interesting.
Yeah, like Blackwood's and Brackens, like we could have seen them fighting, and that would have been a good one to show because there aren't dragons there.
Well, then when the Blackwoods
and
come
it would
in
have given
later.
us more of an opportunity to see people fighting up close and personally.
I don't think we need to see Sir Kristen Cole versus No Name Lords. It's not really No Name Lords, it's all the small town folk. So the small town folk and like the people of King's Landing, things like that, they're going to play a very important role later in the story, which is why I feel like it's a good thing that we see that and see how much it's actually affecting people. Also, the Blackwoods play an important role in Rhaenyra's side later. And I feel like the audience that doesn't know them that well, because we haven't got much time. No, we did get to see, oh my gosh, I forget his name. The leader of the Blackwoods in this episode. But they are an important key to Rhaenyra later. And I feel like there should be more build-up. It feels like we're going slow, but then we're jumping over things, which I don't necessarily mind, but I feel like this season probably should have had more episodes to just show some of these battles to create a better impact. That's what I think. Anyway. All right. Okay, and now we have the scene in where is this? With Aegon and Aemond, where Aemond reveals that Kristen Cole is telling him information and making plans with him, which is not being communicated to Aegon. And they also start talking to each other in High Valyrian in front of everybody, which I actually really love that addition that they added. And I also feel very bad for Aegon in this scene. Like, Aegon, I feel bad in general for Aegon. He wants to rule, but he doesn't know how. And he's it's unfortunate he's at an age now where he is like doesn't want to learn, or it's not that he doesn't want to learn, it's that he needs to learn a very specific way. He's a very emotional being. Even the actor who plays Aegon has said that Aegon is very emotional. So I feel like if somebody was just a little more gentle with him, it might help. It doesn't help when he goes to his mom and pleads basically for advice, and she just tells him he sucks. TLDR. She basically tells him to shut up and look pretty.
Positive enforcement, and he is getting absolutely nothing out of her. And it's honestly very sad.
It is very sad. Do you have any other notes you have for this scene between Aegon and Aemond?
Oh my god.
Not the round table. What is it called?
Yeah, the part where Aegon, Alicent asks, like, where are all the books? And Aegon's like, oh, I had them removed.
I think that's later.
Which makes sense, because it's like he wants it to... No, it's right before that.
No. It's
right before the conversation. Yeah, so Aegon's, talks about how he had all the books removed, and Alicent goes off on him a little bit. And he just kind of snaps at her that, like, I had them removed. I didn't have them burned. Like...
I feel like instead of Alicent refusing to tell him things, she should just communicate better with him. I feel like this whole thing would be helped if she just communicates better with her child.
Literally. And it's like he is desperately begging for any kind of positive enforcement from anyone in his life, and everyone kind of just hates him and views him as incompetent. Like, his mother hates him and views him as incompetent. His father never paid attention to him. His brother tried to kill him. things are not going well for him. And they are progressively getting worse.
I really love that
Aegon could have been a very good king if he was surrounded by people who, with his best interests at heart. Absolutely.
I think he could have, to be honest.
Shows at least some degree of, like, actually caring about the people. And it can be debated if he cares about the people for his own image, or if he cares about the people because he actually cares about what's best for them. But I think he had a lot of potential. And I think he was probably pretty afraid of failure too, which is, at least in part, probably why he ran from the responsibility at first. And the fact that he ended up more or less, I mean, being forced into it. And then being told, you're not good enough. Like, that's
just sit there and look pretty.
Literally. Listen, do your part. Your part is to do nothing except sit there and be a figurehead for the people that are smarter than you. And it's like, his methods are bad, but all he's doing is, like, he's trying his best to prove himself worthy. His methods are bad. In Viserys' defense, he was busy rotting at the time. Oh yeah, no, he definitely had reasons for not paying the most attention to Aegon. Also, he was not meant to be the heir.
I also feel okay. So, what the heck are they doing with Maelor now? I'm pretty sure that Aegon is not sleeping with Helena anytime soon. And he does not exist.
He does not.
He does not exist. They just forgot a whole Targaryen prince. Who, in theory...
He's not going to be relevant.
He would, in theory, be the next in line now. Unless they just got rid of him to create that conflict between Aemond and Aegon, which I could see them doing. But also, like, why just get rid of a whole Targaryen prince? Who was actually impactful on the story. So... okay. I just love the way the actor has brought in Aegon to life, giving him a lot more character. So the only thing that we knew about Aegon from the books is that he slept with a lot of people, had a lot of bastards, and was a drunkard. That's all we knew from Aegon from the books. So I really like the complexities the actor has added to him and the complexities the writers have added to Aegon. I really enjoy him. So I feel so bad for him in this whole episode and probably moving forward with the Dance of the Dragons.
I agree. I think that the amount that they managed to add to his character is incredible. Not just with the writing, but I mean, especially with like the acting. It's just amazing job.
Just bringing like emotional depth to him. As he's just doing such a great job. And I'm looking forward to see how they're going to change things now with the rest of everything. But I also don't want Tom to go away, so we'll see how they do it. The one thing is this show is definitely slow, so I can see them putting a lot of attention onto that.
He absolutely is killing it.
Oh my god, he is. You know what the next thing is gonna happen too? It's like my least favorite. Alright. So we see Rhaenyra make a very bad mistake. I mean, Rhaenyra is just making tons of mistakes over mistakes, but she's at least steadfast in her decisions versus Aegon. But she's really not getting good counsel, I feel like. Because they're just kind of like, they just want a war. They want to fight. So she basically went right into Kristen Cole's plan, played right into Kristen Cole's hands, to have a dragon show up at a otherwise really small, was it a fort? Castle?
Yeah,
Keep?
so.
Keep. It's a keep. So otherwise, Brooks Rest doesn't matter that much. They were just trying to draw out a dragon, and Rhaenyra played right into their hands, and they were going to surprise them with Rhaegar, which is the biggest dragon. And she played right into their hands, and unfortunately is my favorite dragon. So, Jace does, Rhaenyra makes another dumb decision, or not decision, a suggestion that she will go and fight, at Rook's Rest, which is dumb, because if Rhaenyra dies, it would fall onto Jace, to continue the war of succession. Or it could die out.
And we just saw that Jace could not handle that council without some form of adult supervision.
Correct. So, Jace
he could talk back to his mother, but he couldn't talk back to the council. He needed someone to tell him what was happening.
Yep, and Jace does volunteer. Rhaenyra says absolutely not, which is a good decision, because he would have died immediately. And then Rhaenys volunteers. She's the most seasoned of their drivers, of their dragon riders. I guess it's technically drivers too. She's the most seasoned of their dragon riders, and the Melees is their most seasoned dragon and their biggest dragon that they have at the moment. They will get a bigger dragon later, but that's going to be a little bit later down the line. So
the queen is way too indecisive and failed to name a hand of the queen before she left, leaving the council rudderless. So, yeah, she absolutely should have named a hand.
So she does have a hand, but I don't know if she did it before.
I don't think she's named him yet.
So Corlys is her hand. I'm guessing she didn't name him yet, and they're gonna do it after that. But you really should have named a hand before sending somebody into a big battle. There should have been more strategy there, because it just felt like they were just kind of winging it in a way. Because Rhaenyra's been gone.
And the fact that she ran off to King's Landing and didn't tell anyone she was leaving. She should have at least communicated to Jace, like, here's where I'm going. Here's what I'm doing. Here's why I'm doing it.
Oh, we saw that, though we did see confirms that, Jace knows about this, the prophecy.
The Song of Ice and Fire. Yeah.
So that
she did tell Jace.
That is something that wasn't clear in the books if Jace knew or not, and the show did confirm it that Jace does know. We do see a really funny scene. So every time we see Tom on screen, Dee and I keep saying he is Nocti, which is her cat that has one brain cell. He's absolutely adorable, but he has one brain cell. So when we were watching,
capable of thought.
When we were watching him push the vase over like a cat, it was the most hilarious scene to us. But we see him starting to go reckless.
Most cat behavior I've ever seen a person commit on any show ever.
We see him.
Council is running circles around her council. Oh, absolutely. They can actually have a conversation and make choices, even if they're not great choices.
We see him growing restless in this scene, and then the vase breaks is like symbolism of like breaking point kind of thing.
Yeah, shattering the gods.
Yeah, and he's drunk. We have a very adorable scene. Hold on, I gotta go find it here. This scene with him and
Hey.
is a dragon. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what is the dragon's name? I'm totally blanking right now. Sunfire. Hold on, let me go back. This scene of him with Sunfire. I love that they added the glisten. That is something that's mentioned in the books. I love Sunfire. He's my second favorite dragon. This scene is so pure and adorable. I love it. His smile is so cute, and it shows how much he does love his dragon. It also shows in the scene how much Rhaenys has a good connection with Meleys here, which is just so touching. And Meleys is my favorite dragon, and now we do not have Meleys, and it makes me very sad. Welcome to the chat. Oh, there we have a lot of messages. The queen is too indecisive, and queen, we got that one. Red circles. Hello, welcome. So we see them preparing for battle. I love Rhaenys' armor. I love it. I want to see better close-up pictures of it. I'll have to find behind-the-scenes stuff because, like, I love it. This has to be, like... I don't know. Would you think this is...
Hey.
Valyrian steel? No. It reminds me of something like...
Good that it is.
It reminds me of something that Aegon's... one of Aegon's sister wives...
I also like the tiara head.
The crown. Yeah, the tiara. It's very similar to Rhaenyra's when she's crowned queen.
Showrunners did us a disservice by not showing Sunfire until the episode he got destroyed.
I know!
Oh, absolutely. I wish we had seen him sooner.
Sunfire is... Ugh, I love Sunfire. Sunfire is the most beautiful dragon. I think it's mentioned in the books. There is a dragon that has not been shown, that will definitely be shown, that I think is going to be people's favorite dragon if they do it right. Looks-wise, which is Daemon's dragon. But I love Sunfire. We see Sunfire also is so much smaller than Meleys, and so Sunfire just feels like a baby still, and it just breaks my heart watching Meleys just tear apart Sunfire. It just broke my heart. Okay. So we see the Mira, and I have to check my YouTube one actually. Also,
yeah, I'm glad we had the short scene we had with Aegon and Sunfire. I do wish we had more scenes with them though. I
do too. I really wish I wish that they would have like showed like some bonding of him like almost drunkenly going to Sunfire and just venting to Sunfire, because that's the only thing that will listen to him. That would be so funny.
The fact that Sunfire is literally the only thing to ever have made the first move of empathy towards Aegon.
I love Sunfire. But yes, like I really wish now that we just had scenes of him just venting to Sunfire. That would be so funny. And that's also very in Aegon's like personality in this show. I feel like he would just be like, well, my dragon's the only one that listens to me, so I'm gonna go talk to my dragon. Oh my god. Alright, so we see that Aegon makes the rash decision to go. He wants to prove himself and that he's worthy of the crown, or not the crown, he's worthy of the throne. He decides he's gonna go, because nobody consulted to him. He didn't really approve of them doing the Rook's Rest plan. So he's just gonna take it in his own hands to go. He doesn't know what's planned. He doesn't know like anything because nobody really told him anything. He just wants to go be seen as the hero. He wants glory. He wants recognition. He wants praise. And it did not go that well. We can see Kristen Cole is absolutely pissed because he knows that this is not a good thing, and now they have to protect the king on top of just survive a dragon that is seasoned in dragon combat. So Yeah, Chrysical is pissed because if Aegon does die here, it is going to fall on him. And we see that he takes his role very, very seriously. So, yes, that's part of why he's so angry there. We see this really, really good, very heartbreaking fight between Sunfire and Meleys. I was so emotional watching this video just because I felt so bad for Sunfire. Because Sunfire has never fought. Meleys has. And I just feel like it's two nockety, one brain cell things going into battle. And just expecting for the best and just encountering the worst. I just feel so bad for both of them.
Drunk flying a dragon is kind of really cool little LMAO. Do you think Aemond scorched Aegon on purpose, or do you think he had no choice because the dragons were entangled? Showrunners seem to leave it debatable. I definitely think that it was on purpose.
We went back and looked, and I don't think that Meleys was on him at that time. We can go find the scene.
Yeah, I believe they were separated. Yeah, Daniel said Aemond definitely did it on purpose.
It is quite heartbreaking just seeing. Also, I love watching Vhagar fly just because Vhagar just reminds me of a very old lady. You see the impact. She's coming slow because Vhagar's very slow because of her size. But you see her coming, and it's like, oh god, she's coming. It's like
she's slow until she's not. And then she goes chomp.
Yeah, she goes chomp. So it's really hard. It was really heartbreaking here, seeing Aegon, just really happy seeing that his brother has come to help him when he's in need. And then he realizes that his brother is shooting at him. So we're watching this scene again. So
Aemond at that moment. Whoopsie. Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna go away. I'm going back.
Aemond's just like, oops, I did what I planned to do.
So it's a little
Tragic.
It's a little hold
on. Aemond obviously wanted Aegon dead, hence draw the sword at the end. Yeah, and walking away as opposed to trying to help it.
Okay, so he did hit them both, but it was definitely a direct hit to Aegon.
Yeah.
And we see...
Yeah, and also as Benny Boy...
I think it was on purpose.
Said, the drawing the sword at the end, too. Definitely seems to imply that it was, intentional.
Oh, yeah, like, because he could have had Vhagar just fly up to Meleys and try to grab Meleys. We see Vhagar is not afraid to bite another dragon. He could have ordered that, but no, he ordered it to fire. I know in the books they say that they were more like entangled than it looks here, but for my just watching it, it looks like he could have easily just had Vhagar separate them without hurting Aegon. It seems like he really did take that opportunity to hurt him. There is when we watch the I guess the commentary at the end, they did say that Aemond is still pissed about his treatment in the brothel. So that also leans into yes, it was on purpose. That's what I think.
I'm sad about Meleys and Rhaenys. They were so cute together.
I am sad. I was very upset watching that scene. Also, thank you for all the follows. I very much appreciate it.
It was very sad, like the resignation on Rhaenys' face too, where she was just like, okay, like we're going down.
Well, Rhaenys could have gotten away. She could have left.
She went down with the ship.
She went down with the ship. She could have left. And there was a moment there where I thought, are the directors or the writers going to make Rhaenys live? But I was like, but that would be silly to do that. Just because like I thought she got away because she was just flying on by the ground.
Viserys did warn us that the Targaryens controlling the dragons is an illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially a lot of the younger kids that we have attempting to control the dragons, especially with Aemond, who's trying to control Vhagar. It's like he doesn't have a lot of experience with Vhagar. Their bond is pretty new. And also he doesn't have a lot of experience riding a dragon in general. And it's Vhagar.
I think Aemond has more experience, for sure.
I mean, relative to, like, Rhaenys. And any of
not to Rhaenys. Well, not to Rhaenys. But since Aemond is very much... He wants to prove he's a Targaryen, basically. And Daemon's the most fearsome. So I can see Aemond taking great strides to bond with his dragon so that they have the closest bond. Especially after losing control with Lucerys.
Mm-hmm.
Which at this point's only, like, not that long ago. And then we see the aftermath of the battle, like, what's on ground, and it shows just how you can be, like, the best military mind and the best soldier, but dragons are like nuclear weapons. It doesn't matter how good you are, if they show up, they can destroy everything. We were watching the director's commentary, and they were talking about how Kristen Cole has seen everything on the battlefield except for dragons and the aftermath of it, and that he's trying to process everything.
The sheer destruction that he experienced. He's seen upfront battle, person to person, horse on horse. Never the sheer wipeout that comes from a dragon.
Yeah, you see all these people just burned and just destroyed, like, turned to ash.
He went to touch that shoulder, and I was like, there is nothing there. There is nothing.
Oh my gosh, I loved that scene now. It just, like, really solidified how in one second you can be there.
Too.
1 second you can be there, and the other you can, with a dragon, you can just be char and bones.
Yeah. And with a fight, like, if it's you and other people, you're fighting for your life. If there's a dragon coming at you from above, you can't necessarily fight that if you're just a guy with a sword. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, this is definitely
symbolic. You can't really run to outrun a dragon.
That's definitely symbolic, and a very good symbolism there.
Yeah.
Alright, so, another interesting...
And the control that he thinks he has, too, is just crumbling. He thought he had control of the situation. He thought he had control of the armies and of Aegon to a degree. And everything went wrong.
Okay, and then we see Aemond with pulling out the sword, walking towards Aegon. It's a little ambiguous. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. This gets caught by Kristen Cole. An interesting note, though, is that Aemond now has the dagger on it with the prophecy. Which I wonder if they're going to make it so that he knows it. I think they will.
I think that's likely. Thoughts on how Vhagar is soloed Melees with a sneak attack. Melees supposedly being the fastest adult dragon, and Rhaenys having more experience. Kudos to Aemond there on a fatal Rhaenys mistake for not seeing it. Or a fatal Rhaenys mistake for not seeing it.
Yeah, Vhagar likes to surprise attack you. Yeah, I think Rhaenys at that time was just so defeated in general. She should have seen. I think she should have turned away at that point. Honestly.
Yeah, she did keep her eyes kind of panning. Like, she was clearly looking around, looking above, looking below, left, right. Like, she was keeping an eye out for Vhagar. She should have realized that there was a good chance that Aemond and Vhagar were using the very large building to hide.
Yeah, why? Like, you're so close to the
giant
ground.
dragon does not disappear out of nowhere.
We already see that Vhagar likes to lay in the ground and just pretend that they're a puppy. Or she's a puppy. It was adorable. But, like, she's very close to the ground. Gives Rhaegar more areas to, like, sneak attack at. The best, probably, area would for her to have been higher up in the sky. So that she could see better of where Vhagar could be. Because, again, Vhagar's slow.
The only concern with that would be is if Vhagar comes out of the clouds.
Yeah, but in theory, though...
From above.
But yeah, I mean, in theory, though, that she should be able to outrun Vhagar. Right?
Yeah.
And, like, at this point, Meleys in general is, a little... So, in the books, Meleys, is more weakened than she actually is here. We do see her somewhat... I mean... Was she bitten by Vhagar in the show at that point? Or was it just Sunfire?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that?
Was she bitten by Vhagar at this point, or was it just Sunfire that she was bitten by? Because she was definitely bitten by Sunfire.
I believe it was Vhagar.
Was she bitten by Vhagar at that point?
Because
like, from what in the book, she's like exhausted already from fighting the two of them, but it looks like she took down Sunfire so easily, with such ease, that she was almost fighting Vhagar at like full force, and at that point she should have been able to take him or take her. Because yeah, Sunfire didn't really put much of a fight in the show.
If she turned away, the Greens would definitely win the battle, and she abandons her troops.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's
she
true.
abandoned it, and she's so close on that. But either way, the Greens won.
Yeah, and they had 2 dragons coming in, which they weren't supposed to, but they did.
So if it was
Fire and Aegon didn't do a lot, but
if it was just Vhagar and Meleys fighting, I definitely think she could have gotten Vhagar. That's why I'm trying to like debate how severely impacted was Meleys after fighting Sunfire. Because in theory, I think if it was just Meleys and Vhagar, she could have won. You know what I mean?
She got some good shots in on Vhagar, but it was 2v1 really. Yeah, Sunfire wasn't like a huge threat, but Sunfire was still another dragon that she had to keep an eye out on, because even if Sunfire, we're ignoring that. Sunfire is not the biggest threat.
It's still there, but at the point, Sunfire fell.
Any like missight and not noticing that Sunfire was coming in on an attack could be detrimental. Oh, you broke the camera. Why are you like this song?
They did leave it very ambiguous too at the end of here if Aegon II did live. Too. Let me try to split screen.
After Sunfire, she was basically full health. It was 2 1v1s.
That's what I thought. So like, in theory, she should have won, I feel like. Because the only reason she lost in the book is because it was more of a 2v1. And I'm pretty sure that's even... like... Now I'm conflicted. Now I'm conflicted.
You have the butt.
Because like I'm like, yeah, she basically was full health. Because we're thinking, right? Vhagar showed up, hit the two of them with fire, but Melee's went up. And Dreamfire went down. So Dreamfire was out of that equation at that point. So she was just really focusing on Vhagar, and she should have been able to defeat Vhagar.
Reason behind this is she didn't get hurt by Vhagar's Dracarys.
Yeah. To me, the two is pretty much Vhagar and Melee's versus Vhagar and Melee's versus Sunfire.
Oh yeah, Sunfire was being severely bullied during this fight.
It was so bad for Sunfire. But yeah, like I agree there. Like I feel like maybe they needed to show more of the dragon battle. They needed to show more of Sunfire fighting back and getting hits in and things like that, I think.
Yeah, it kind of just... Poor baby. Yeah, Sunfire was just being bullied.
Poor Sunfire.
Poor Sunfire was getting bullied, exactly.
It's like, again, it's like two babies going into battle just being like, yeah, we got this! And they just show up like, oh no. Oh, we don't got this.
I feel like Sunfire and Aegon are two very similar beings. I see
Aegon very much showed up to war like a child, just being like, wow, war is cool. And then showed up and was like, oh my god, this is terrible. And then got thrown out of the sky.
So, I'm trying to debate, should I say... Sorry. Should I say a spoiler from the book? Well, it's okay if I say a spoiler from the books? Because I would say yes. We don't necessarily... So, in the books, Sunfire and Aegon do survive. Sunfire is, I believe, missing a wing and very badly burned. So almost like Sunfire should be killed to be put out of his misery. That. And
it did look like Sunfire had one wing that was severely more functional than the other.
And it's the same thing with Aegon. It's like Aegon is severely messed up. It's mentioned in the book that his armor melted into his flesh. So it's interesting to see how they do that in the show. I definitely feel like they're gonna at least have Aegon survive. I'm hoping, like, we'll see how they adapt it.
I think it's complete lack of experience for Aegon and Sunfire, just out of their way, or just way out of their league. Aegon and Sunfire are more like frat bros than warriors. I agree.
They are, and it's actually kind of really endearing to me. But yeah, you have two very, very seasoned dragons on the battlefield. Sunfire really should not have been there or anywhere near it. But Aegon does not make the best decisions, especially when he's not.
He has no one that he can actually trust in.
Well, we see now that yeah, they're creating paranoia with him. They're definitely pushing more on the drinking, which God bless. I don't want to see more of those brothel type scenes with him. Oh, I really liked the brothel scene from last episode, but from like season 1 and stuff like that, because he was known to have many bastards. It's going to be very interesting to see how they adapt it from the book. So the next major thing that's going to happen is the dragon seeds, which has already been, the seeds, no pun intended, of that have already been sown heavily. And then I think it's the Battle of the Gullet, which is a water battle. Like, that one they're gonna have to show. The Battle of the Gullet.
Yeah. Also, do we know if there is going to be the time, like the gap between the first half of the season and the second half?
I looked and I didn't see it. I know they said it, and then they said it. Yes, Corlys will be involved in this one as well. Corlys is going to be not happy about Rhaenys. I do love Corlys and Rhaenys, and I do love them in this season. The actors are phenomenal together in interviews and everything like that. So we are going to see Corlys start to be a little bit more gray because, you know, he's losing everything. He's lost his both of his heirs, and he's lost his wife and his daughter. So
he now has...
He's lost everything because of Rhaenyra.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really hope that they do some adaptation though with Daemon, because it looks like, yeah, we are going to see him start to move, but for the majority of it, he just stays in. So they have that one. I don't want to too much spoilers, but I would love to see Daemon more involved than just having the hallucination dreams. Lost his son, his wife, his daughter, and at least one of his grandsons.
Yeah, as far as he knows. Yeah. Which I also wonder if Laenor's gonna show back up.
So, I don't think he is. I think what's gonna happen, because they brought up the that he was acting reckless, his dragon, I think what they're gonna try to say is that he died. And that's how they're gonna fix that problem. Let's see. Do we know the episode names of the future episodes?
I don't believe we do.
We don't. I'm trying to think of like where it could end battle-wise.
So it does look like episode 5 is set to release next week.
It's gonna be rough to review though episode 6 because that's when we get back from Techo.
Oof.
Like that's the Sunday.
Yeah.
Let me try to think this. They said there were 4 seasons of this, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
So there is going to be season 3. I know that. I just can't remember.
They said up to 4 seasons are mapped out by the creative team.
Mapped out for 4 seasons, because like I'm looking at it.
Up to 4, yeah.
And like they're moving through so fast. Then I'm trying to figure out how.
I think they're very afraid that they may not get the full.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking.
What's the next battle canon-wise that we can look forward to?
Battle of the Gullet.
Is that the Gullet? Yeah.
That is the Battle of the Gullet. So we're gonna go through. We're gonna. I don't want to say what is gonna happen. We have to go through the Dragon Seas, which there's already been at least 2 mention. Well, there's been 1 mention of it, but there's been 2 or 3 heavy hints about it. We saw. was it Ulf White? The one who claims to be the bastard brother of Daemon and Viserys in the bar, or not the bar, the brothel from last week. I don't want to accidentally name all who the dragon seeds are, but we did hear him last episode claiming to be a bastard Targaryen sibling of Daemon and Viserys, and yeah, so they've definitely been sowing that. So the next thing will be them exploring the dragon seeds, and then the next battle will be the Battle of the Gullet. Like, that's the Battle of the Gullet they have to do. Like, a lot of the, like, little battles they've definitely been jumping away from, which is upsetting. But understandable. But it's not because it's understandable, and it's not at the same time, because I've been rewatching the original Game of Thrones, and they showed so many little battles in that. And we'll get so little in House of the Dragon, but it's taking just as much time as Game of Thrones episodes, if not longer. And I know a lot of it has to do with the dragon CG, because that takes a lot of time as somebody who's done animation and 3D modeling and stuff like that. But still, like, I don't know. With how fast they're going through battles and, like, just skipping entire battles, I'm just worried that they won't get the full 4 seasons. I know that they said that we're going to get more stuff of Helena, though, because she's going to be very different.
Not sure if you want to get into this, but thoughts on the last dragon seed that hasn't been shown or named?
I'm fine with it. I hate that. I personally don't like that dragon seed. So I'm personally fine with it. But I know that they're a fan favorite. I heard rumors of what they're gonna do with that. And if they do it the way that the rumors are being put out, I think it's a good decision. But we have already been shown 3 dragon seeds. I'll let people who have not read the books figure out who those are. We already semi-spoiled who one is because he said that he is a Targaryen bastard. But we've been shown 3 of the 4. I thought I heard somewhere, though, somebody say something about the 4th dragon seed might be in the next season or something, though. But I don't know. Because there's just characters being left out. Like, we don't know. We don't have Maelor. Daemon finally got mentioned, and they're going to be in the next season, I believe. Which, thank God, because he's very important. And he's going to have, I think he's going to have the fan favorite dragon. But I think a lot of people actually also love Vhagar. A lot of people love Vhagar, I believe. So, she's just like a cranky old woman. Like, I love her. She just wants to nap, and she's just like, I keep getting taken into battles. Alright, I
love Vhagar.
I think that's it for this week. We will be back again next week to go over the next episode, which should be a slower episode because it's going to be lots of plot setting up for the coming battles. Yeah, so we'll be back again next week. I'm very excited to see where they move forward. I'm very, very happy with this episode. I'd give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. Probably, which is the highest I've given an episode.
Give it a 9.
It's
wait, before we go, MVP, LVP.
Oh my gosh, MVP and LVP. Oh my god, who? Oh, my MVP is definitely Rhaenys. Loved her this episode. Loved the acting of the Is it Eve? I think the actress's name is. Love the acting. She was definitely the MVP of this episode. LVP. See, Kristen Cole now he does not get the LVP. I feel like every episode because now he's being smarter. He's not being a simp.
True.
I feel like my LVP. I would say MVP is definitely Daemon for the sneak attack. It's almost it's almost like a cheat code that he keeps using. Eve best.
MVP, Aemond for the sneak attack.
I think.
Yeah, Eve best.
I'm gonna say. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of torn. Who's your LVP? Who's your
My
loser of this
LVP?
episode?
I'm gonna say Alicent for
So
terrible
I
parenting.
thought about Alicent, but I also thought about Daemon for taking the tea because that was so dumb of him to do, especially because he made a show of not taking the peas earlier. But then
LVP Daemon for taking hallucinogenic tea.
But-
yeah. I think I still have to go with Alicent because she is a terrible, terrible parent.
She's a terrible parent.
So bad.
She is a terrible
I'm sticking with Alicent.
I would say Allison's probably the worst. Flying in willy-nilly. Oh.
The Aegon for flying in.
Yeah, I mean, it was the dumbest decision that he could have made. But at the same time, he doesn't necessarily know what's going on, which gives him more intention to pause. Like, he should have paused and thought about this better. But,
He could have asked questions, but that would have
Well, the
proven
problem
that
is-
he had no fucking idea what was happening.
the problem is he asks questions and they're not answered.
Yeah.
'Cause
And if he asks questions, it makes him look incompetent, and then no one answers him anyway. So why ask if no one's gonna answer?
it's like, fine, I'll just be dumb. Alright, I think that summarizes us for this episode. We'll be again back next week around this time to go over the next episode. Very much looking forward to it. Next episode should be a slower episode though, because it's a lot of setting up for the rest of season 2 and then very heavily stuff in season 3. So thank you guys all so much for coming out. I hope everyone has a good rest of your night or day, whatever time zone you're in, and have a good one, guys.